Hello everyone, this is How to Unity here, and today's video will cover how to make gun mechanics. So let's get started. So I have a plane out in our scene. I just created a new 3D object and selected plane. So this is going to be our platform for our character. And I just downloaded standard assets, which is Unity's provided package. If you don't see it in the asset store, I'll have a link to where you can download standard assets. So if we go into standard assets, click characters, first person character, prefabs, and FPS controller, we can drag and drop this into our scene and we can position it. And since the FPS controller already has a camera attached to it, we can just disable our main camera. And now what we're going to do is create two folders. One is going to be named materials, and the other is going to be our scripts folder. Okay, so we're going to create our enemy. It's going to be a cube. We'll rename it enemy and reset the position of this. And we're going to create a cube. This is going to be our gun, and reset the position of this. And now we're going to attach a 3D object to our FPS controller so we can better visualize our FPS controller. So we're going to give it a capsule, and now we can add materials to our object. So we're going to create 3 materials. One is going to be named gun mat, and we'll name this one enemy mat. And we'll create our last one, which is going to be named player mat. If we drag and drop this to our objects, so now we can change our color, so we can just give each one a unique color. So we'll give our enemy the red color, our gun material the green color, and our player material blue. Okay, so let's also rename our capsule to player mesh. And now we can position and scale down our gun so it looks more like a gun, not a cube. And we can zoom in and position it. Okay, that seems pretty good. We can just leave it at that. So now we can go into our scripts folder, create a new C# script, and we'll name this gun mechanics. Double click on gun mechanics and we can open up Visual Studio. Okay, so before we start adding code, let's quickly go back into Unity, and we need to add a couple more objects. One is going to be our bullet, so we'll just have this as a sphere. And we can give this a bullet sort of size, that. And another is going to be an empty game object, and we're going to name this one bullet holder. And we can child this to our gun, and our gun will be childed to our FPS controller. And this bullet, we can just give another material. Bullet mat. give it something like purple. We can apply this to our bullet, and now we need to position our bullet holder so that it's right in front of our gun. So that seems fine. So now we can go back into Visual Studio. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is create two transform variables, and the first one will be called bullet, and the second will be called bullet holder. And in our update function, we're going to say if input.get mouse button 0, and basically this if statement will be called whenever our user clicks the left click on their mouse, and what we want in this if statement is to make our gun shoot whenever the user clicks left click. So first thing we're going to do is create a transform variable, and it's going to be called bullet trans. Set it equal to our instantiated bullet, and we're going to pass in our bullet and our bullet holder dot position, and finally our bullet holder dot rotation. End it with a semicolon, and now we're going to create a local rigid body variable. It's going to be called bullet RB, and it's going to equal bullet trans dot get component rigid body, and now we can apply the add force function to our bullet's rigid body. So what we do is bullet RB dot add force, and we can pass in the direction vector3 dot forward and times a float, which is going to be our bullet speed. We'll create that up here. Bullet speed multiply our vector3 dot forward by bullet speed, and we can end it with a semicolon. So we can save this, and if we go back into our inspector, okay, so we can apply our gun mechanics to our gun, and we can drag in our bullet for this transform variable and our bullet holder for this transform. And let's rename our sphere to bullet, and let's position our bullet away from the scene so you can see what's going on. Now if we click play, and does not instantiates our bullets, but it does not add force. That is because we didn't add any bullet speed value. So if you give it something like 100, that should be fine. And also we should add a rigid body component to our bullet, and what we can do is freeze the position of Y right here so our bullet doesn't fall down. Okay, so now you can see that our bullet does shoot, and what we can do is add more speed to our bullet. Give it something like 500, should be fine. Okay, so this sort of mimics the AR gun mechanics. So if you recognize, if our player turns to this side, our bullet still goes in the vector 3.forward direction, but it's in world space. So to fix that, we have to add force relative to our player. So we can simply just do bullet RB.add relative force, save this, and click play. And if we turn around now, our player shoots in the direction of our gun rotation. Perfect. So last thing we're going to do is add a script for collision detection, and it'll detect when our bullets collide with the enemy. So we can create a new script, call this, you can call it bullet collisions, and we can open it up, and we're going to create an on collision enter, and in this we can check if collision.gameObject.tag is equal to enemy, then we want to destroy our game object. Okay, save this, and if we go back into our Unity editor, we have to add a tag to our enemy. So if you go into enemy, go into tag and add tag, you can create a new tag. We'll name it enemy. It has to be the exact string name as we specified in our code. So capital E for the enemy, and make sure it's capital E for the enemy right here. Save this, go back to your enemy, and set the tag to enemy. So now what should happen is whenever our bullet collides with our enemy, the enemy should be destroyed. So before we click play, let's add our bullet collisions to our bullet, and we'll create multiple enemies, and spread them around. Now if we click play, awesome. Okay, so that's basically it for this video, and if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.